Hello, my name is Nazwan Adwa Nabilah. So, so, so now I'm going to explain of this. So I'm going to explain what I listened this podcast. That podcast is named The First Hear That to Me. The name is M. Emma Normandy. Two, second is it's Science Inside. The name of topic is um, lab ground meat. Third is more or less quantum computer. So first I'm going to so now I'm going to tell so now first I'm going to explain what I listened and summarize it this podcast. This podcast or this episode of this podcast. So what is discussed about? This discuss about Queen Emma, Queen of England, Queen of Normandy, Queen something, um, Queen of Queen of Kingdom Anglo Normandy. Hmm. This in a podcast said Queen Emma um um daughter of Queen Emma has a blood Scandinavian from his father and mother. um, the father name is Edward. Father Edward and and mother is Hatchnut. So what makes famous in Queen Emma is from the podcast said from this podcast. So um Queen Emma is the of key of the politic, key of the compass of politic, a rule of the kingdom, um, rule of the kingdom, complex, all complex. He ruled in the 166 and 1066. um, in so I will explain summarize about second podcast. His name Science Inside. Them topic is um lab grown meat. So what is discussed about? It's like grown meat is about um fact about factory about making meat is fut- about future of about uh, what the function is lab grown about lab of lab of meat or factory of meat some lab of about factory of meat something like that. um the third so I explain summarize it uh about podcast more or less the topic name is quantum computer. So what the so what is so so what this podcast said what is quantum computer? The computer is a supercomputer. is a supercomputer than decent is or is I mean is computer but more super than than computer from decent computer. I mean from ordinary computer. This computer has uh more accomplishing, more tests, more calculated. They said more calculated. It's because this com this computer has more chip than decent computer. So this is what I know. So that's it. What I summarize it in this podcast about. So now, So now I'm going to tell what I learned from this episode at this podcast. This ep- First is your dad to me and about Emma, Queen of Emma. So I know the history. So now I know what history of this name of uh, now this queen. Now his and I know the history. No bits. I know so when I list when after I listen this podcast, I know bit history of England, especially include include and including listen listen in podcast about uh, about about what he's born, about what his family, about his place, the place of the place of the kingdom is from Normandy, and now is for and now is and and now that and now now that place is a part of France. Um, Second is um, second is science inside. The topic is the topic is the topic is lab grown meat. So I what I know is something um um what the what what the problem producing meat in a lab, something what the meat is something uh so how to producing how to producing meat from the farm. So what the problem, so what uh challenge what the challenge of this lab of factory like that. And I know this. I know so when I listed this, so I know so now I know something what the problem is. Problem of lab of meat. The third is the third is quantum computer. So so I like I know this so when I listed this podcast, I know what computer is. Computer is what something bit of computer. The big computer is quantum computer, and more the chip of it. So I I search it. So computer is like this. So I so computer specification is like this. So it's something what I know is says something what I know. Uh, so I'm going so I'm going to tell what I know, what vocabulary, what something precious in this podcast. First is from from that that to me Emmanuel Mandi is kick um um is fourthly. when I listen it poorly is something uh something poorly is something slang in the Britain. Slang is poor. What what a poor, what a poorly, uh what what is not good for the people is poorly like that. It's not good is um has something incident like that, something example. That guy is poorly. That guy so has more injured. What a poorly like that. Um, so the two the the second phrase for that to me is kick off. Um, I know that kick off before from from the from the football from the football. So I just know the phrase, but I don't know what meaning. So I search its meaning is start the game or something like that. um, uh, so for uh for the second podcast is what phrase is what I know is what I know is what is this is uh fermentation. um I know that I know fermentation mean fermentation um from brand Yakult. This is I know milk fermentation. Like so, what is fermentation mean? So in that podcast, so in this first our I says it. What fermentation? Fermentation is metabolic process that produces chemical change in organic substance through to the action of enzyme. So fermentation is like um is something we um um making something food or something. What is this? Make so we making to food is stay on just stay on just on stay on in stay on for long stay on for long make that organism or microba to inside that food and making them making them more acid more something like that. Yeah, example is like tempe or yakul. Second press for this second podcast is in vitro. In vitro is like taking in vitro is taking taking something um in in tube in in something um put something put something on this in this cube chemicals, for something for something for something medical like for babies 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 tube like babies tube or Indonesian is mean by tabung like that. Something like by tabung. For the second press, for the third press is the third press is what this one third press of what this podcast is something hype Hype is um something upper upper hype is upper energetic like that. Is hype is upper energetic. Mm. And second place for this third podcast is in the weeds. In the weeds mean getting into complicated details about topic. Something complicated like that. So thank you for listening my explanation about this three podcasts. So thank you for watching and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.